Hey, how's it going? Dave2D here, and this is a video on the concept of using the iPad Pro as a laptop replacement. So I've been using mine for about 3 weeks with iOS 11, and I really feel like that's the operating system for these guys. And well, ever since iPads have existed, people have been trying to use them with limited success as laptop replacements because it's quite appealing. They're thin, they're light, they're not too expensive, and iOS 11 looked like it had a whole bunch of new features that would make it more viable. So let's take a look. Starting with media consumption, iPads have always been great for watching videos and listening to music. The 10.5-inch iPad Pro has 4 speakers and they sound awesome. It's really weird that a tablet like this has better speakers than like 99% of gaming laptops, but it does. It also has a really nice screen. The 120Hz panel is excellent, like straight up 10 out of 10. You can literally see twice the number of animation frames in the UI, so everything looks super smooth. It's tough to showcase this in a video because you're seeing this at 24 frames per second, but if you see it in real life, you'll notice it right away. The thing is, nothing outside of the UI really makes use of that 120Hz panel. You're not watching videos at 120 frames per second, you're probably not playing games at 120 frames per second, so the hardware is awesome, but it just feels untapped for what the device does. Now, if you're an artist, the Apple Pencil is really nice on the new iPad Pros. The lower latency is noticeable to me. I will say though, if your master plan is to pick up an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil to learn how to draw, don't do it. It's not gonna happen. Start with paper and a pencil. So there's 2 big things in iOS 11 that were really exciting to me: drag and drop and files. So drag and drop is a new UX that allows you to drag and drop multiple objects, and I have to say it's really well done. And Files is an app that allows you to store files like mail attachments or photos, links, downloads. You can now place them into various cloud storage locations and it'll show up on devices that have that cloud storage. So it'll show up on your laptop, your desktop, whatever it might be. So these 2 features alone bring a level of usability that I've never seen before on an iPad. I mean, there were third-party apps to do this kind of stuff before, but they just weren't nearly as fluid and well integrated as these. I would say that it is a viable solution. Like if I had to, I could get by with using the iPad Pro as my only device. And I think a lot of reviewers came to that similar conclusion, that the new iPad Pros running iOS 11 are a significantly better experience than iPads were in the past for using them as laptop replacements. But after using this for a couple more weeks, I thought, what am I doing here? Like, why is this still so difficult to use this as my laptop replacement? It's not as fluid and it's not as nice as it should be. I mean, these devices have been around for 6-7 years, and the touchscreen is never gonna be as precise as a mouse. If you're accessing websites or doing spreadsheets or database stuff, poking on the screen, like to click stuff, it's usable, but it'll never be faster than a mouse or a trackpad. And same with the drag and drop stuff. I send photo attachments from my work very frequently. It works, it's a welcome addition, but a keyboard and a trackpad are just so much faster than this. A split screen works the way it should, but it's cramped and all the tapping and swiping you need to do to get the split screen going. I'm fluent at the mechanics at this point. I've done it so often. I know all the keyboard shortcuts. I'm very familiar with them, but it's still never going to be as fast as a laptop or a 2-in-1 running a full-fledged operating system. And that's my whole issue with this proposition. If you're going to replace a laptop with this thing, the experience has to be as good as the laptop that you're replacing, or else why would you use this, right? The keyboard is not bad. I'm using the Apple one, but if I had a choice, I would never use this thing over a regular laptop keyboard. And it isn't very slim. Once you add the keyboard onto the device, it's as thick as a Microsoft Surface Pro or like a Razer Blade Stealth. The pricing isn't too expensive, but once you add all the accessories and stuff, it's like $800 or $900, which is in the realm of some really good Ultrabooks and 2-in-1s. So the hardware on the iPad Pro is excellent. The actual tablet itself has so much potential. It's gorgeous, the screen is beautiful, it's got amazing battery life. It's like an easy 8 or 9 hour battery life on this thing. I mean, it's really, really cool, but the software cripples this thing. iOS 11 is definitely a step in the right direction, but I think it's still really far away from what this tablet could do if it had a completely different operating system that was more conducive to regular work. So if media consumption is your jam, like if you're just buying this to listen to music and watch videos, go for it. It's expensive, but it does a really good job at it. But if you're trying to use this thing to replace a laptop, I mean, it's doable, but it's still a giant pain in the ass.